Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Moonriver and at Glmr. So we'll combine both tokens in the same video. Right now, the markets are very slow and they're basically doing nothing. So we can't really dedicate an entire video to either of these coins because there's not a lot going on. So once we get more momentum, we'll start doing separate videos for Glmr and Moonriver. But right now, if you haven't seen the previous update for Moonriver, check it out. It's going to be in the top right hand corner of the screen, and let's jump straight into the TA. Jumping into the daily chart, we have a Fibonacci retracement set up from the swing high in February down to the swing low in January. We have wicked below the 1.618 here, and then we have successfully broken down below the 1.618. So that was sitting at $4.12. We are approaching that level from below once again, and we are potentially looking for a back test of resistance. If we open up the daily RSI, you can see that we did come all the way down here in the middle of September, which was our local bottom at roughly $3.70. From there, we started retracing slowly but surely, and even right now at these prices, Moonriver is sitting at a very, very good buying opportunity, and you can see that we're coming up and we're retesting this previous level of support. And from there, potentially, we're going to see another move to the downside, potentially even taking us lower to $3.23, which is our second fib level, our capitulation target there, in case we have some sort of a flash crash. I do think we're going to be filling up this entire wick here, to be honest with you. So this move to the upside is temporary before we eventually continue moving down. And at some point, this trend has to be broken, obviously, but we don't know when that is going to be happening, so we just have to stick to accumulating, staking, and doing our research during these bearish times. Now, let's switch over to the weekly chart. Taking a look at the weekly chart, you can see that we are in this large falling wedge pattern at the moment, and it does look like we are seeing a slight bounce off of the support here. And what we potentially could see is a move all the way back to the 1.618 at $4.30, and then move back down to the support into October, and we might land on, this yellow support trend line again, and potentially even go below that briefly and take out this technical target at $3.44.5. So that's what we are going to be eyeballing in the near future. So within the next few weeks, that is potentially what we're going to be seeing. Once we have a breakout above this yellow trend line, above the teal trend line that you have here with two touches from July and with August being the second retest, once we break above those trend lines and we have some volume confirming that breakout, we can actually start getting bullish on Moonriver again. As of right now, this is just dumping along with a bunch of other altcoins, and this is what happens during a bear market. But if you are going to be buying into Moonriver, this is the time to be buying. So if you're accumulating a lot of tokens at around about $10, $20, now is the time to bring down that average buying price as much as possible. So if we take a look at the weekly RSI and the weekly stochastic, you can see that the stochastic has been in the oversold since April this year. So we've been in this zone for 4 months. Before this, we were in the zone since December 2021 right up until January 2023 before we saw that retracement to the upside into February, where we retested this resistance at $11.33, which still is one of our more important resistance levels, and it is our technical target out of this falling wedge because that's where the wedge was created. So once you break out of the wedge, you're going to be retesting that level there, and that's going to be our technical target. And from where we are currently, that is a 180% move to the upside. So what I'm saying is that the stochastic is down here. This is the time to be accumulating. The RSI is very low. It's the lowest it's ever been. So this is another good sign that, you can start accumulating here. Obviously, don't go all in into a low cap like this, but this is where, big gains are made in the bull market. So this is where you want to be buying in if you want to get to those, $100, $200 prices. this is where you want to be buying into Moonriver. So that's pretty much it. Not a lot to cover here. Once we have a proper bottom, we'll be able to set up a Fibonacci retracement and we'll be able to measure our move to the upside. But for now, that's it. Let's switch over to GLMR. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. So taking a look at GLMR, if you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch the video in the top right hand corner. But jumping on to the daily chart, you can see we have a Fibonacci retracement set up from the swing high in June 2023 down to the bottom in June as well. So it took us approximately a few weeks to create this uptrend here, this parabola to the upside, 37% approximately, and then we started dumping. So we broke below the golden ratio, which took us a few weeks to do that, and then we broke below the 0.786 rather, which also took us a few weeks to do, and now we are breaking below the 1.272, which also took us more than a week to do so, and we were just dumping here at this point. And we are below the 1.618. We are retesting the 1.618 as of right now. Very similar situation to what we're seeing with Moonriver. However, the RSI is more overextended. As you can see, we were sitting down here at the index of 17 on the daily. So GLMR is sitting at a better buying position in my opinion. And you can target this level down here, the second fib level, at 15.5 cents. So hopefully this is where we print our bottom, because you know, the lower you go, the better for you, obviously, because your average buying price can be moved down, and if you keep accumulating and you keep staking. But as you all know, the unlocks with this thing are just, you know, crushing the price, and at some point we're going to reverse, obviously, but hopefully we're hoping that we're going to be able to get back up to $10 in the next bull market at the very least, of course. Anything can happen. We can even get back to 20 bucks if, you know, if there is enough demand, but we don't want to be over bullish or overly bullish. We want to stay conservative. So we're going to be targeting the 5 to 10 bucks area for now, and we'll see how things go from there. And now taking a look at the RSI, as you can see, we did dump below this blue support block, and this was an amazing level for us to start accumulating at, because every single time you entered this block you had a move to the upside. And this is actually what happened over here back in August. We dumped there, print a nice double bottom, have a move to the upside, retest the yellow trend line as resistance, dump back down. But here you can see in September we dumped even lower. And now we are starting to recover, and it is possible we're going to run into either one of these trend lines as resistance, so either the yellow trend line here or potentially the white trend line that we have. So all those are resistance levels above us, but I don't think this matters too much in the, you know, large scheme of things. If you're just accumulating for the bull market, you know, you can just keep buying. You know, below 25 cents is a very good buying opportunity and a very good buying range. But let's switch over to the weekly chart. Taking a look at the weekly, you can see that we already lost our second fib level, so we don't really need this fib at this point. Actually, we can just keep it in case we do come back up, right? We can just target some of these levels, to be honest with you. So we'll just keep the fib on the chart for now, and you can see 17.5 cents was lost, so we're potentially looking for 15.5, which we just saw on the daily chart. I am potentially going to be expecting a retest of the 20 MA sometime in the next 2 months. I would say we're probably going to get some sort of a retest, some sort of a relief rally, so that would provide us with a 42% trade. If we get a bit too bullish, we might even retest the teal resistance trend line that could provide us with a 70% trade or so. So this is the same resistance that we tested back in August last year, in February this year, and we could have another test here, but potentially we could even have a breakout, no one knows. But that's something that's going to happen probably within the next few months, if not in 2024. No one knows what's going to happen. As long as we're down here, this is where I would be accumulating. I have a pretty good GLMR position, and I will potentially start averaging in more down the line. But for now, there are other altcoins that I'm targeting. As long as you're below this teal trend line, you are good to accumulate. This is a very good bottom structure here, and you know, there is no bottom for now, but anything below 30 cents is very cheap. So if you are looking to take profits at, you know, $5, $10, $15, this is where you want to be buying in. And taking a look at the weekly RSI and the weekly stochastic, they're both in the oversold, and they're both sitting, you know, very, very low. So the RSI is sitting at the index of 27, and the stochastic is sitting down here at the index of 2 and 4. So that's showing us a great level for entries. And I know it looks bleak, it looks bad, boring, and you think it's going to zero, but this is what happens during bear markets, and then the price recovers and you're like, well, I should have bought there. And that's exactly what could have happened here in January 2023. You know, we started breaking out, and no one knew, you know, if we were going to, you know, get above, or we're just going to get rejected from the same trend line that we retested in August 2022. No one knew what was going to happen. So, you know, by all means, we could have just continued here, and, you know, everyone would have been like, well, yeah, that's our bottom. Obviously, that did not happen. So we're going to be hoping to get a bottom before 2024. And like I said, you could keep staking your tokens, keep accumulating during this time. This is an amazing opportunity, not a financial advice. Let me know what are your targets for both Moonriver and Moonbeam in the bull market, and let me know if you're still buying. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and take care.